What up, Facebook? Welcome to a new year and a new brand of the show. It's been a while, man. I've missed you guys so much. I can't tell you how much I enjoy doing these shows. You are here at the new and improved Superstars podcast. We will be rebroadcasting the show on Spotify, Google Play, Apple, all that good stuff. Anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also see the episodes at superstarspodcast.com. I can't tell you all how much I've missed you. I enjoy these shows immensely. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to what I do for my business, but also on a personal side. I enjoy having chats with people that are achieving higher levels of success in their individual fields. So that's the big announcement. The big difference this year for me is I've been always hyper-focused in real estate, and we're going to stay hyper-focused in real estate. It's definitely, it makes sense for what I do, as for a living, as a mortgage broker, but more importantly, I'm going to start to venture out into other arenas, other industries. So if you're someone that is a higher level person achieving higher level success, you're ahead of your company, you're ahead of your team, reach out to me, superstarspodcast@gmail. I'd love to put you on the show, love to have a chat with you. I do a Monday motivation show with John Duffin, Mr. JD. There he is, my buddy. I just literally, it's funny. As soon as I'm mentioning you, you show up on the screen. We had such a nice talk yesterday, and I'll spill some of it over here. Feeding off that Eagles win, the electricity is just absolutely ridiculous all throughout the Philadelphia area. I mean, you just can't go anywhere without feeling the pulse of this entire region. It's just absolutely insane. For me this year, guys, it's all about stepping my game up as I do it every year, as everyone sets their goals and tries to do those things that take them to the next level. Let me do a little bit of mortgage stuff. I think I'd be remiss to not. Welcome to the new normal, everyone. Welcome to the new normal. Rates are probably where they should have been. We had a taste of the good life, I should say, during the pandemic and ridiculous rates, causing a ton of buying and a ton of overbidding and a ton of all that other stuff. I think where we probably are where we should be, even though people don't like to hear that. But, just remember, when the rates are higher, there's less people bidding. When less people are bidding, you can usually get better deals and build equity. So we're still seeing in the sixes. Some days we're seeing it in the fives. That's kind of where we're trending. I don't have any disclaimers down there to give you the whole TILA or RESPA stuff. So please don't get me in trouble on that. That's why I said fives or sixes. That's about all I can say. But, reach out if you have any questions regarding it. But please, are you thinking rates will hold, rise, or fall? JD, I love it. Thank you for being so interactive on my first podcast. Do I think rates will hold, fall, or rise? Here's the answer. I think that we're in the median right now. I don't think you're going to see a major up. I don't think you're going to see a major down. I think we're comfortable at where we will be, but I think it's just the new normal. I think everyone needs to grab themselves by the cojones a little bit and realize that this is not going anywhere. This is probably where we're going to stay for a while, but stop being fearful. That doesn't mean real estate's still not a good play. That doesn't mean you still shouldn't buy your first home or investment property. And you always have the ability to refinance. So that's about the most I'm going to say, because today's show is about a true rock star. I've done a deal with this guy. He is an absolute professional at what he does. And I cannot wait to talk about his journey in the business. Jason, hit me up on that chat. Are we good? Does Ryan have this feed rocking on his Facebook? Please let me know. If not, I'm going to bring you on to say hello. We probably should anyway. Oh, there he is. What's up,
buddy? How are you? Man, I got to tell you, thank you so much for having me. I think this is 17 years of being a realtor. This is the first podcast I've ever done. So I feel like I've hit the pinnacle of my career at this point right now.
Listen, if I'm the one that does it for you, that makes me feel even more special. So thank you for that.
You got it. You got it. Thank you.
So Ryan Godshall with Remax Action out in Horsham, Pennsylvania. Did I get it all right?
You got it right.
All right. So 17 years, you already answered that. You are rocking and rolling. Are you predominantly Montco? Is that your area of expertise?
Yeah, predominantly Monco. We'll go over into Bucks County, western Bucks County and eastern Chester County,
Okay.
Phoenixville area. That's predominantly where we, northern and western Bucks County is that's kind of our area.
Got it. Ryan and I met for some Mexican food in 2022 at a phenomenal spot. Let's give it its props. What was the name of that place?
That was Los Serapes in Horsham.
Los Serapes. We ate at the bar, and I got to tell you guys, I'm a foodie. For anyone that knows me, I'm very particular. I have no problem saying if it's not good. It was good. It was legit food. It was good.
It's authentic, right? It's authentic. So I gave
Horsham, Horsham, Ryan, in general, is seeing a major renaissance. I mean, I grew up in Huntington Valley, and I never remember that much there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of great places to eat, and I pretty much broke it down for you. And I said, look, you get Italian or you get Mexican. What do you want? And you went Mexican with it, and I felt all kinds of pressure, but
well, Ryan, you know what? You delivered.
Foodie.
You delivered. Right. You delivered. Well, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. And you know what else is funny? I have to talk to Jason. It's an interesting placement of where you are in the background. You're like right in the center of my body there. We'll have to maybe reposition me, Jason, next time.
Let me slide a little bit.
There you go. You're better off.
You can be in the middle of your own body.
Yeah, that's fine. That actually makes more sense now.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna go back. The show. I've told you the show flow. I want to get a feel for you. Figure out what it is. JD, John and I host a show on Mondays called Your Monday Motivation. Says he's got some family out in Horsham. Feel free to interact when people shout out. You can cut me right off.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. If they ever need to move, definitely reach out.
Ryan's your guy. So let's start from way back. We call it Baby Ryan. So where'd you grow up, man? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I was born in Harleysville and grew up in Lower Gwinnett / Bluebell area, which kind
nice.
of haven't really ever left except for a short stint, which we can that's through the progression. But yeah, so kind of born and raised in central Monco area and North Penn High School.
North Penn, that was my next question. Okay.
Yep.
North Penn High School. So tell me about the family dynamic. Siblings?
No, only child.
Only child. All right.
Only child. So there's pros and cons to it, but I don't know that I would change it.
That's good, man. So tell me about mom and dad. What did they do?
Divorced at a young age. Actually, I'm a third generation realtor. So mom is over 40 years now in real estate. Kind of got me started. I mean, going to college, I figured I was gonna go to law school. That was always the plan, and decided to take a year off. I got my real estate license. That was in 2005. We know what that market was like, and it was kind of like coming through COVID. It was deals were happening, money was easy. So why am I going to go to law school? So
that makes sense.
05, 06, living the good life, and 07 got smacked in the mouth.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. The professional stuff will come in our second part, but I'm gonna pick up with the smack in the mouth. I like that. So. What's it like growing up? Take me back. Can you remember growing up with a mom as a real estate agent? Like, what was that like? Absolutely.
I mean, look, I've lived real estate my entire life, from doing mailings for her to, she was, look, I love my mom to death. Punctuality was not one of her strong suits because, I remember, getting picked up from school and, I'd be there a little later than everybody else, but, I understand it now. Right. I understand, why. And, she was a, single mother for a long period of time who worked in a crazy industry.
Now, did she have one of those old school cell phones? Like, because I just remember like realtors back in the day had those huge bricks, right, with the antennas.
Yep. Well, and the car phones that like the bag came in the bag. And yeah, I mean, look, it's crazy to think where we've come, right? Where we came from. She used to, she had to drive to other agents' office to pick up the keys. And, if you're showing 5 houses, you're driving to 5 different offices and picking up keys. And then, they had the MLS books, nothing was online. So you're flipping through books and, it's crazy, how technology has really changed the structure of this business.
So life like in North Penn. So were you an athlete? Like, what were you into? Music? What was your thing?
We're not going to. We won't touch on that one. But yeah, athlete. No,
girls.
Well, all right, full disclosure. So I started at Germantown. I kind of got the full run here. So I started at Germantown Academy, got private school until they politely asked me not to come back in 6th grade. Turned around, went. Give me a little hint.
Give me a little hint before we braze over that. We have to go full detail, right?
Yeah.
Just give me an idea of what the cause of that was. Were you like were you a menace?
Yeah. I'll be honest. It's something that has served me well in real estate. Yeah. But back then they didn't really understand ADHD and the ability to not sit still and focus and concentrate. And they don't tend to like that too much in private school. So I mean, kindergarten, my teacher would her line to me was shut up, shut the door, and sit down.
Yeah.
So it's just, I was active.
Yeah. I suffered from the same issues. Didn't realize now until I probably had the same thing. I can vividly remember Saturday detention, man. Like mostly because of my mouth. Mostly because of my mouth.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you're one of the few people. I mean, you have more energy than I mean, if you could bottle that up and sell it, I mean, come on.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I hear you.
No, that's cool. So what was before I go to private school? Just so people know, so GA is unisex, right? You uniformed all day. There was boys and girls. GA's actually got good sports, right? That's what they're known for.
Yeah, they have great sports. But look, I was in my class was Katz's daughter, the owner of the Eagles, and she was pulling up in the limo and getting.
Was it Jackie?
I think it was. Yeah.
So Jacqueline did a stint. She lived in Huntington Valley. She did a stint with me years prior in Lower Moreland schools. So I remember I went to her 1st or 2nd grade party. I can't remember if it was Chuck E. Cheese or not. Whatever it was, the actual mascot came. The Sixers mascot at the time came.
Okay.
So, right. So I can connect the dots.
Yep. Yeah,
dude, that house was sick though. I saw the 83. Was it 80 or 83? I'm bad with this. I'm gonna get smacked for my lack of sports knowledge. Was it 80 that they won? I don't remember.
You got me.
The championship trophy was in his house in Huntington Valley, bro. And it was spinning on one of those days. Crazy.
Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy. Well, when you own the team, you get those perks.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So anyway, I digress. So GA kicked you out. All right, go ahead. Next.
Did 2 years in Catholic school.
Which one?
That was St. Stan's in Lansdale.
Lansdale. Okay. Yeah, I'm Jewish. I don't know as many. I married Irish Catholic, but I'm learning.
Okay. Okay. Right. Well, yeah, and I mean, I was Presbyterian, but I went to Catholic school, so look, I wouldn't have changed it. Reason being is, I mean, I got the full scope, right? And then turn around and do 9th, 10th, and 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th at North Penn.
Yeah.
And go.
When did you graduate? I'm going to date you a little.
2000.
You 2000?
2000. Yep.
Dude, we're the same age. I was 2000. That's crazy.
Come on. Look at all this we have in common.
I did too. So North Penn. Did you do any? That's a big sports school, right?
Yeah. So I played ice hockey and baseball, and then golf as well for them. Nice.
You look like a golfer. You're rocking that.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. I appreciate it.
So you learned golf. All right. I'm going to get into that because I stink at golf.
All right. Well, then we can never play together.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I feel like
not because I'm good, just because you're gonna slow us down a little bit. We like
Well,
to play
see, no, hold on. I want to stop you there for a minute. I want to tell you the truth. That's my biggest fear, what you just said, right? So everyone tells me that's my friend. They're like, don't worry about it. Just come with us, get a couple drinks. We all stink, right? But what you just said is exactly what I fear. And I think it's true. Who the hell wants a novice in front of them that doesn't even know which stick, and I'm going to call it a stick, which stick to pick, right? Which stick to choose, trying to mess up their game. It's annoying, right?
Sure. A little bit. Yeah.
So I'm staying off the golf course. You just confirmed it.
No, just we gotta get you some practice. We'll get you some lessons, and then you build that confidence.
I can't even figure out the difference in the clubs. I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, then we got our work cut out for us, but we'll get you there.
But it's like poker. I never learned it. Now, the reason I never learned to play poker is because I have an impulse issue, and I knew I'd lose on my right? But it's funny because you go, and they're more complicated than people realize. I know everyone out there plays poker and golfs, but listen to me. When you've never done it before and you try and get in at the age of 40, it's intimidating. Okay?
Absolutely. There's other hobbies out there.
You know what? Maybe I'll come drink with you and drive the car. Is that cool?
All right, perfect.
All right. So North Penn. So I'm gonna date, since we're the same age. Let's figure out music first. Were you a Smashing Pumpkins guy? Were you a Dave Matthews guy? None of those.
So I was honestly, I went the other way with it. I was kind of the Wu Wear, Paco jeans, Eminem, bleach blonde hair. That was.
I can see that.
That was my vibe.
Did you have any piercings?
I had two. My left ear was pierced twice.
I had two in the left and one in the right.
And you had the hoop. You had the hoop going on.
The hoops. Yep. Willow Grove Mall. Yep. Willow Grove Mall.
Yep.
Yep. This is awesome. I feel like I'm reliving the glory days.
Absolutely. They really were the glory days. And then what? I ended up. Little known fact is I won the bass competition at North Penn my junior year, which was all the subwoofers in the car in the back.
Yeah.
And they had this whole competition. I had this, and literally I just threw it out probably, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, but I had this like 6-foot trophy, and it was like my prized possession for a long period of time. Yep.
Now, was that in an Acura? Like, what kind of car was that in?
It was in a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
A Jeep. I had a Wrangler. See?
Okay.
Okay, man. I know.
I'm telling you. This is what that was. Or late 90s was. This is what we did.
The glory. Were you hanging out at the Regal Theater too in County Line Road?
No, we did Melody Brook skating rink in the ice skating rink. That was our spot. Yeah.
All right, ice skating. So did you play? Is that where you played hockey for high school?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That was we bounced around a little bit, but yeah, Melody Brook was where we practiced.
All right, so we'll get through high school. Take me to college.
So get accepted to Penn State. Go to Penn State Berks for a year. I had always kind of had in my mind that I wanted to be at main campus. So they had told me that I had to do 2 years at Penn State Berks before I could go up to main campus. So what I did was I changed my major to forestry, which requires you to go up after
forestry.
Forestry, right? So I figured out
what is that?
You got me. I mean, I guess trees and all that stuff. But
so let's clarify. It was a strategic move to get to main campus sooner.
And then you change your major when you get there, and they can't send you back.
That's dope, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it was a horrible decision at the time though, because I was not ready for main campus.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know how to explain this. I think the best way to describe it is when you go to Vegas for a bachelor party or you go to New Orleans, you have to be prepared for that level of partying, right?
It's a hit and run. You can't stay there long term. It doesn't bode well.
I don't know how anybody could make it out of there alive. I really.
Yep. Well, the worst. So the problem with it was because of the timing and how I did that or whatever. I didn't get on campus housing. So I ended up being like up on Viro Boulevard, up by like the Walmart, way off campus, and I got to take the bus everywhere, right? So it was like I'll never forget. I'd come running out, and I run into the bus, and there's like a foot and a half of snow, and I'm like, well, this is crazy. So I turned around and like went back to sleep. I just, I mean, look, I wasn't ready for that. Great school, loved the school, went to all the football games, but educationally wise, I wasn't ready for that big of a place. So fast forward then was, I ended up leaving Penn State. I got a golf scholarship at Gwynedd Mercy.
Oh, dude, you're a legit golfer.
No, I'm really not.
You
For
got
anybody
a golf
that knows me,
scholarship.
yeah. So, well, hey, I mean, it was Division III. It was more of an educational, but they called it, it was for golf, whatever. So,
Still good though.
So end up transferring back home and do that stint. Finish up, go 3 years. So I was on the 5-year plan for college. Ended up with a business degree.
Nice.
And it was the right fit, right? So everything, I'm a big believer, everything in life happens for a reason, whether it's the house you're looking to buy or the person you married and it didn't work out. It's all gets you to where you need to be eventually.
I could dig it. All right. So before we step into the to the real estate realm, which is the meat of our talk, I gotta shout out. You have a daughter that's a wrestler. Is that what I saw?
Yes, sir. Yes,
dude,
sir.
That is badass.
Yeah. So I got a son. I got a 12-year-old son, and I have a 5-year-old daughter. She kind of got forced into wrestling a little bit, if you will. I've been on the board of North Penn Youth Wrestling. I was the president for 2 years, and
wow.
Really, we have 60 to 80 kids in our program. It varies year to year, but love the sport. I think it really encompasses a lot of great attributes for people because there's no. You can't, you're the only one out there on the mat, right? And you lose and you can't blame anybody else. So I think it's there's a lot of good life skills that come from wrestling. And I kind of threw her into the fire and she's absolutely loving it. So
dude, that is badass, man.
Yep. Yeah.
And what's her name?
Peyton.
I love it. Okay. I'm not thinking. I have a daughter and a son too, but that's what stuck out. I saw her in like so I did a little stint of wrestling. I struggled with the weight thing, not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's a strict thing. And then every time I would suck down on the weight, I would be a wussy on the mat.
you would die a little inside and then tap out. Okay. I got you.
I mean, it's just another thing, mad props, because, you never know. Everyone's like, you're bigger, try it out. I mean, I talk about human pretzel. I did a short stint in wrestling and then a short stint with jiu-jitsu. Both times ended up me being contorted in places in ways I've never been. So
I was going to say, you found out how flexible you were real quick.
Jay, troll Ryan's Facebook. If you get a chance, we got to pull that picture up of his daughter in her wrestling gear. But that's dope, man. That's awesome. So are you, both kids are active in sports?
Yep. Both kids wrestle. Awesome. My son plays baseball as well. And my daughter just decided she didn't want to do gymnastics while wrestling season was going on. So we put that on hold. She did play soccer. We'll give her the run through all the sports and, both kids, let them see, figure out what they want to do.
Did you see the desire and then put them in, or did you put them in? How did you do that with your kids?
So my son is a little on the aggressive side, I would say. And, I kind of stumbled upon wrestling at one time for him. And it was a good outlet for him. And so that's where, as soon as he was involved, then I was like, well, I need to be involved. So cool. We, did that and, got approached by someone on the board of the Wrestling Association and, said, hey, you'd be great. And I said, yeah, here I am. So I went for it. And now I understand why they said you'd be great, because there's not many people that want to, step up and take on all that responsibility.
And that man needs to be hired on your sales team, my friend.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome. Well, all right, we got a good picture of you. What are you into these days? So golf's the thing for you. You're a foodie, I take it, like I am. That's good. Yeah, no.
And, I mean, so full disclosure, I went gluten-free for 2 years. I just went back to it.
All right.
So, it's amazing when you can, I mean, look, in our profession, we're out on the road, we're running a lot, and, having to, stop for a salad constantly gets really old after a while. So,
Yeah.
I'm in a spot now where, starting to enjoy a good slice of pizza again. And,
it's like a rebirth.
Yeah. It sure
Where do
is.
you get a good slice of pizza in the Horsham area?
Actually, right next door to me is Angelo's. They got wood-fired pizza, which is phenomenal.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. All right.
Yeah.
Next visit, buddy. Next visit.
Just as an FYI, that was your other option for the Italian. So.
Well, and now I have Italian to look forward to.
That's right.
All right. So talk to me. So you get out of college. Was real estate? How old were you when you ventured in?
Yeah, so with kind of moving back home from Penn State and going to Gwinnett Mercy right around the corner is only 7-8 minutes away. I ended up going through that my years there, and then my last year I was actually captain of the golf team, the tennis team. I took 20 credits, and I worked for my mom in real estate in my last semester. So did that, and just trying to earn some money here and there, and then again with being there and all that going on, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go get my real estate license. It kind of wasn't on my radar until then, senior year of college, and so I said, we'll go get it, pass it on the first try, and off to the races we went.
And what age were you then?
I would have been, let's see, that would have been 2005. So I think 23 range.
Young, man. Yeah, you're young in the game. Yeah. I like it. See, I feel like it's always good to go in it, especially in this business when you can be a little more risky, because you never know where the market's going to lead you. There's big wins and big losses, but you have to have the fortitude to weather the storm. It's funny. I look back on my years and I'm like, man, I should have done this younger. This younger.
Yep. Well, and look, you can get, I think it's 18 now that you can get your real estate license. I mean, they hand them out in Cracker Jack boxes, right? So it's like, 40 or 60 hours of training, go pass a test, and you can go handle someone's largest asset, right? It's crazy.
I sense you don't agree with that.
No. I 100% agree with it. I think that where I benefited was I had a mentor, right? I had my mom to kind of show me and teach me.
That was my next question. Was she your biggest influence professionally?
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
She was there. What was nice. So look, when you get into real estate, you get your license, and you hang your license with the broker, and then it's here's your office, and go sell or don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So what was nice was, I was able to do her books, and I was able to do her mailings, and I could make, X amount of dollars an hourly rate. And then on top of that, I was constantly hearing the conversations and going on appointments and, hearing the way she did things. And, ultimately, eventually I could tailor it in my own way. But I'll never forget one of the first appointment I went out on my own. And I mean, I walked into this house, and I'm like, there's this consumer notice, and I need to present this buyer with the consumer notice because the real estate commission says that I have to do this. And I'm like trying to explain this 2-page document, and I have zero clue what it's about. And it was just that, that like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Absolutely. In the bottom of your stomach. Yeah, that was so, but it's like with anything, like you gotta get into it. You gotta start it. You gotta fail, and you gotta figure out why you failed, and pivot off of that.
Yep. So that was I was going to ask you, what nuggets are you taking from mom? What are the things you remember, just like vivid points specifically that have carried on with you?
Work ethic. And to this day, we might be in the middle of dinner, but she'll still answer her phone. I got friends at the country club who, I'll be out playing golf, and, they're always giving me a hard time about answering my phone. Right. And they're sitting there looking at me. I'm like, sorry, I'll be right there, whatever. but it's one of those things where, you know, you're in a service industry, and
Yeah.
you know, you have people that want answers, and you know, and I say to them, look, if you're my client at that point in time and you're calling me, you want me to answer the phone, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I get it. It's an inconvenience, and you know, look, I would love to go and turn my phone off and, you know, for 4 hours and not check it or look at it, but you know, it's a you know, you survive based off of your work ethic, and that's what I'm saying for her. I mean, I've never seen someone that can just sit in an office, like especially as a realtor, for like 7, 8, 9 hours and just, you know, just work.
Mm.
And that's what I saw from her, and you know, juggling, and you know, this appointment and that appointment, and on the phone, and the kid's needs, and you know, everything else. I mean, it's wild, and that's, you know, with real estate, I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand, right? Everybody thinks you just, you know, you go, you show a house, you sell a house, and that's it. That's like the biggest misnomer that's out there. You know, this is easy, right? I'll do it part time, or I'll, you know, whatever, and it's crazy, right? And we can get into, you know, what, I could go down that rabbit hole forever, but it's you know, it's a small business, and there's
Yeah.
no you know, it's just like anything else, right? With the exception of maybe 2020 to 2022, you know, only 5% of all small businesses make it after 2 years, and is no different than in real estate, other than, you know, the last 2 years, because, you know, it's been easy type of a thing. But that's really the, you know, going back to 05, 06, like, if there was one thing that I had to do over again, it was, I would learn quicker how to build a business, right?
Mm.
Not just be reactive to, you know, hey, this person called me, and, you know, great, now I'm selling, you know, X amount of houses. It's that client care, that client management, that relationship building, and planning longer term, because look, you know, you get a nice big commission check, it's real easy to go spend it, right? But
Yeah.
you still have to plan for the rainy day. You still have to pay for your marketing. You still have to, you know, coaching or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and I want to dissect that a little more, because I feel like as you're progressing and evolving, you're understanding what things you need and what don't you need, and what's making you more fine-tuned. But I really
Mm-hmm.
respect and appreciate the fact that you're calling it a business, because I think that that's one area that most people miss, right?
Yep.
And I think that's something we should discuss, because it is a business. It is a business, and you're a full-time professional. So people, they don't understand. Do some people have success at it part-time? Yes. But most of those people have a massive network that they've built from doing other things that they can easily tap into, right? So
Yep.
I would imagine, I mean, and I'm going to ask you, you know, to me, the network being your net worth thing is 100% true. And then for someone starting out that doesn't have a tangible network, I would assume you would suggest they identify it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. The Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, in general, so
let's
you have
go.
you have a team, right? You have a team,
Yep.
and you're trying to grow. So when these
Yep.
agents come under your wing, how do you get them started? What's your
Yeah.
process like?
Yeah, so I mean, and that's where, you know, every team's different, right? So
Mhm.
you know, with you know, myself, we went out, you know, kind of build out our SOPs, our standard operating procedures. We have you know, the necessary trainings, you know, in order to get them, but also it's the shadowing, right? It's the mentoring, it's
Mhm.
the having somebody that you can partner with, that's gonna, you know, that can, you know, they can roll with me anytime, you know, type of a
Mhm.
thing, where hear what I'm saying, see how I'm doing it, and then, you know, pretty much, you know, take that upon themselves to then go and come up with their own version of that,
Mhm.
you
I
know.
get to,
But
you
it
know, and that's so important, Ryan. Like, you know, we see agents come into this at all points of their lives, right? And
Yep.
for someone to go solo out of the gate is absolutely bananas.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely bananas.
It's almost impossible, right? And yes, you can get some guidance from your broker or team leader, or, you know, an office manager, or whoever it might be, but there's so much. And when you say, as far as a business, right? You come in and you think, well, I'm just selling houses, but there's more to it than that, right? You need to have marketing skills of some sort, right? Because you need to generate business. You need to have some kind of accounting, whatever, so you can do your books and see what your numbers look like. You need, you should be a licensed psychologist, because the people we have to deal with on a daily basis, I mean, it's people. It's just it's such an emotional decision to buy a house, right? And so these people you see people's true colors as you're going through a real estate transaction with them, because it's stressful. So there's so many different facets to being a realtor. It's not just, okay, hey, my aunt wants to go buy a house, and I'm going to go I'm going to go show her some houses, and I'm going to do it. And, but how do you leverage off of that? Right. Well, your aunt's a great, hey, we'll call it a layup, right? It's, it's your aunt, and she's going to use you and work with you. But how do you leverage your aunt then into, 3, 4, 5 transactions on top of that? And that's a whole nother process of building your network. And if you can get to a point where, every client you have refers you to clients, well, you're constantly doubling your business.
Right. And you're always conscious of those things. Are you always conscious of those things?
You have to be. To be, because there's 2 ways to generate business, right? It's either network or prospecting of some sort. Whether you're picking up the phone and cold calling expireds, cold calling FSBOs, you have some kind of lead generation system or tool. There's really those 2, and so I looked at it as, I'm just now starting to realistically cold call and prospect for expireds and FSBOs. I've never had to do it, but now that with building a team, I need to generate more business for them. So, I've always looked at it as, I stepped in, back in, 05, there were still houses that would sell for $100,000. Right. And a lot of agents, seasoned agents would, turn their nose up at that. And why am I going to go work for $2,500? And I'm like, give me the 2,500s. Why? Because that 2,500, that $100,000, they're going to call me in 5 years when they want to sell. Right. And they have an aunt that they know, and they have this. And next thing you know, every client that you have is $1 million plus client. Right. Just because you're giving them phenomenal service, they're referring you, they're calling you for repeat business. And that's how I started and built a business. Without bragging, I have 86 agents in my office, and I was number 1 last year. I just found out. So,
and I want to get and congratulations, by the way. That's why you're on the podcast, FYI.
Oh,
we don't put scrubs on the podcast.
We don't want those scrubs. So, and look, honestly, if I can do it, anybody can do this business. It's just, I mean, I'm not the smartest, guy out there or anything like that. It's just, you work hard, and you make it. I mean, I'm 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, every single day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, but you know what I'm seeing in you? You enjoy the hustle. You enjoy the hustle. You build it brick by brick. You did it your own way, and you enjoy it, and you take pride in that, right? And that's where the profession gets shortchanged. It's a profession, right? You are a sales and marketing expert on top of a real estate expert, right? And people don't understand that. You can't build an agent-based business without that. So before I get into that meat, let's talk about a couple other things, because I know you did a little time on Joe Bograd's team. So you were under your mom. When you decided to leave your mom, was that it's time for me to go? Did mom kick you out? Like, what happened?
So that was a tough one.
You thought I was gonna just dance around that, right?
Yeah, you were gonna dance a little bit. So and mom, if you're watching out there, sorry. We'll go. No, so it just kind of came to the point where I was at Remax in Bluebell, and it had just kind of run its course where I was working with a coach at the time, and the coach looked at me and he was basically like, just so you know, I just got off the phone with your mom and I let her know that you're going to be switching brokerages and going somewhere else. Right. And I was like, okay, like that came out of nowhere. So I was like, okay, I can run with that. And he's just like, you got to go do your own thing, right? You need to have your own identity. You need to learn, you need to grow. So,
so it was the broker that did it.
No, it was my coach that called my mom to say,
oh,
yeah, yep.
Okay, wait. So you had a coach. You had a coach at what age?
That would have been 2010 range. I want to say 2000.
Wow. So you had a professional coach very early on.
Correct.
And people don't realize that's not for you. I mean, in general, do you think you've needed a coach from
100%.
like a whole time? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's the balance, right? Because coaches aren't cheap, right? You have there's all different coaches. There's all kinds of programs. There's, Buffini to this person to that person. And, and it's really kind of looking at what the different coaches offer and, what benefit, what you want to get out of that. Do you want to go Craig Proctor and prospect? Do you want to, Buffini and, or by referral only, whatever. So there was, a lot of it out there and, the balancing act, right? And when we talk about going back to it being a business is, okay, well, now you might be spending $1,500 a month for a coach and you might be spending $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 for your office that you work at. And you might be spending, $1,000 on marketing and you might have, so next thing you know, you turn around at some point and you're like, holy cow, like I got 12 because I'm squirrel, right? Just like you, I'm squirrel. Like I'm always chasing that shiny object. What's the easiest thing I can do to get as much, I don't care if I have to pay for it, what can I spend money into and, who's calling me trying to sell me something, whatever. You turn around and you're like, I got $10, $12, $13,000 worth of overhead before you know it. And you're going, man, I got to cut something, right? Or I got to sell more. So, you make decisions and you turn around and they're either, I made a lot of bad decisions. Let me put it to you that way.
Yeah, but that's how you learn. But Ryan, this is so, I hope everyone out there that's ever thought about a career in real estate is listening to this. It's such a good dose of reality. I did the same thing. When I started, I made negative. Then I made barely negative, then a little bit above negative. And I am not a good budgeter. I like to sell more to cover it. That's the way I am.
Yeah.
It's just the way my mind works. Is it good? No, but it's just the way I am. So I just sell, and I subscribe to this and that and the other and all this other crap that I think will help. But I want to get into, all right, so we leave mom. So how did that go down with mom? Let's go back to that conversation. I want to hear this. I got to hear this.
So I think it was easier that he had called and made that call because he was the one that told me, right? This wasn't me saying, I got to go do something else or anything like that. He had just
Where did mom go?
She didn't go anywhere. I left.
Oh, she didn't go anywhere. Or you left. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, the coach said it's time to fly.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, deep.
So then that's where I was kind of like, oh, now I guess I'm leaving, right? So, not an easy.
And let's put this into perspective: an only child and the son, right? And what's your background? What's Godshall? Is that what is that?
It's German. I'm German, Welsh, and English. Mostly German.
I was going to say if you're Italian, forget that discussion.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think I'd still be here. Yeah. So I go and I'm like, all right, I gotta, I'm flying the coop, you gotta, it's fly or fall time. And this is all, this is in the worst time of the market, right? I think we're 2011, 2012 at that point.
How did it go down with mom though? You're missing, I want the juice. How did that go down with mom?
No,
was this in person or was it an AOL instant messenger?
Yeah, no, this was probably like a quick text message. No, but no, we were good. Look, she's always been super supportive and was kind of like, so and so said, you should go do this. Then, so she was supportive of it, and I think it was I needed to go learn a lot of what I didn't know, right? So I went, I left at that point and went to Diane Cardano's office, and I worked there for 6 months. And then I left there and I went to DLP, Don Winter's office, and I worked there for 6 months.
And DLP is boutique, right?
Yeah, well, they're probably the number one team in the country by now.
No, but are they under Remax still, or where?
No, they're their own. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Boutique. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Diane was boutique, DLP was boutique. But what was cool about it was I got to see, when I went to Diane's office, I was a buyer's agent, right? And I got to see, that buyer side, and she's really big on, taking care of the people who take care of you, which is your clients, your past clients, parties, events, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. That was awesome experience, to see that side. And then, when I went to DLP, they had the guaranteed sale program, and, they got, just ISAs setting appointments for you for listing on the listing side. And I got to see all that. And that was really cool to be a part of it. But that was so far away. So I ended up coming back to Remax. Actually, I went
again,
to
still not solo, still learning. That's the point. You're getting a flavor of everything. That's good.
Yep. Meanwhile, while all that's going on, I get an IRS audit, full IRS audit coming in, because they're like, you know what, in 2012 you made $36,000, and we want to know how you survived. And I was like, yeah, me too. You know what I mean? Like,
they audited you when you made 36,000.
Yep.
Oh my
God. So go through all that stress. But no, I mean, look, everything was a culmination, right? It was all hey, it was a boom, and then a huge, 07 to 2012, which was, just, finally getting to the point where it's like, is this what I want to do? Right?
Yeah.
Is this, do I want this stress? Do I want this pain that I'm going through all the time of, how am I going to survive, basically. Yeah. Right. And, so in a fleeting moment, I would say take a step back a year or two. I was like, you know what? I want to sell cars. So I jumped, I still kept my real estate license. I went to Mercedes and down in Fort Washington, and, I was a salesman there for about 2 weeks, and I was like, yeah, this isn't it. So, it's just, I think it's with anybody, right? As you go through that, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Is this where my passion is? And, you would, to speak to your comment earlier, it's that, it's that rush of, cultivating a client, having a client call you for repeat business, selling them a house. And then as soon as you go under contract, you have that dopamine hit that I think is the rush that, any long-term realtor says, why am I still in this business? It's for that, right? It's for that, for that client that gives you that huge smile of, hey, we just, on your end or my end, working together, and we just walked them through a whole credit repair process. And, it took them 6 to 8 months in order to be able to get their credit to a point of this. And, and that's the whole, the teamwork aspect between a realtor and a lender, and, the whole team that's there in order to try to, to make that stuff happen. And that's what so many new agents or, agents who aren't doing a lot of business don't know how to look and evaluate those situations and
that's true.
Figure out what the solution is.
That's true. And that's why, you and I are similar in that respect, where I've never, thank you, Chad. I appreciate that.
Hey, Chad, what's up, bud?
You and I are very similar in the sense of how we approach it, because I've never sold product. I don't, like, you're never going to get an email from me that said, check out this loan product, or I can't do it. Like, what I always tell people, and it's true, and thank you for saying that, is, you have to put your entire trust of a transaction into someone's hands. Like, you pass the baton once you're under contract. And if you don't have that implicit trust of that lender, that, I mean, who cares about everything else? Are they going to close it? Are they going to tell me what's going on? If there's a problem, are they going to let me know? Like, you need that. That is more important than any other thing. And it's such an important point you brought up, because the success that you have is only as good as the people you're partnered with. 100%.
Yep. 100%. And look, it gets to a point where if you're referring clients to somebody, and in your heart of hearts that, you can find it somewhere for them cheaper, or, there's somebody else that can do a similar job but better, right? That's really where it's your responsibility to guide them to the best of the best type of a thing. Because, look, after 17 years, I've been with, I've worked with a lot of different people. I've, it's just, you got to do what's in your client's best interest. And if you, my advice to any other realtor is if you continually have that in the back of your mind or in front of your mind, is that, is this what is best for my client? You'll be a successful realtor.
And what I like about in our discussions too, Ryan, is that you're very big on the process. Like, keep trying, learn, fall forward, learn, fall forward. So it's brick by brick, it's year by year, it's deal by deal, it's client by client. That's such an important message. Did you realize neither of us are saying tomorrow we're going to be on $1 million listings? It's so important to you can't shortchange time and experience. So if you're getting into this business thinking you want literally to go up to the top of the line, and this is what I love about it, Ryan, I get edgy. You're number one of an 86 person office because you like the work involved. You appreciate it. You have your own process. You respect it. If you're getting into real estate, if you're not going to go all in, good luck competing against Ryan, guys. Good luck. And I'm saying that on purpose because that is the type of person you're going up against. And I do have to ask this question, Ryan. I have to ask, have you ever gone up against your mom to get a listing?
No, we'll partner. We'll still to this day, because we're both RE/MAX. We're two different RE/MAX, or we're the same RE/MAX office, but even like we were different RE/MAX offices, but we'd still partner on it. We'd still, come up with, she's always done right by me. She's always, if it was hers, she'd bring me in on it. She's always taken care of me in that regard. And, we just had a client, not too long ago that we worked together on,
that's good.
That's awesome. To get it done. Yep. Yep.
You can always pull out the picture of the grandkids too to like make her feel bad.
I could. You're right. We're saving that one for like one special.
We'll call that the ace in the hole there.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously we're going to be mindful of time because I don't know how many people have gotten this far in the podcast, but talk about the next steps for you. So I know you want to grow the Ryan Godshall team. What's that look like for you now? I know you're out grinding to get your own deals because that's the way the market is right now, right?
It's changed. It's changed.
Yeah,
for
sure. Tell me what so actually let's do a twofold. We'll do tell me what you're doing, and it's interesting. Let's hear what your take is now in a tougher market. What are you doing?
Yeah, so look, there was a period of time when through COVID and through everything else, I mean, it was easy. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to work. We didn't have to prospect. Right. And that's where I'm saying to you is, now it's, the calls, the prospecting calls, trying to get 100 calls, a week in, just trying to get as many people on the phone as possible, because then, your numbers go up, right? You get 10, 3, 1, 10 calls, 3 people on the phone, 1 appointment, or 3 appointments, one deal. So, it's we're just grinding, right? And we're just spending more time in the office. There's not as many appointments. Appointments are still happening, but it's not what it was. So, so now it's on us to turn around and generate.
But I like how you're just taking it on. You know what I mean? There's 2 approaches. You can run scared and can bitch and complain, or you can just take it on. And I dig that, dude. I dig it.
Hey, that's the bitching and complaining and all of that. I mean, that only gets you so far, and it doesn't get you paid. So you gotta put your pants on. You got to go to work, and if you don't, then you're not going to make it.
And let's talk about the team, and then we'll cap it off. So where are you thinking? What's the next step? What's Ryan? What is this 4.0? I guess 4.0.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
4.0.
Yeah. So the idea here is moving forward. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have a VA that we're going to hire, virtual assistant that is going to take over a lot of the front end transaction. The front end client relation and checklists, transaction checklists and everything else that, just takes a lot of time. So we're looking at doing that. And then once we have that in place, our next step is we're going to hire an ISA, which is also a VA ISA, to just make the phone calls and start generating additional appointments, get people into the office, and then from there, I think in the times that we have coming now with the changing market, I think there's going to be a lot of agents who, are looking to transition and to find a team and find a little bit more of a safety net, as opposed to doing everything themselves. So in that capacity, we're looking to grow and add probably 2 to 3 agents by the middle of next year.
Cool. And I like the fact that you offer the mentorship. I mean, if anyone out there that's listening, don't undervalue that. Just because you're seeing the most prominent person on social media or the most widely known brand, that doesn't mean you're going to get the best mentorship. Right. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because let me tell you something. I had some shitty mentorship myself.
We all have. If you've been in the business this long, you've definitely gone down that path.
Oh my God. I'll never forget it. And he doesn't watch this, so I won't say his name, but the first guy I ever worked for, I used to sit there and we used to look at the bond market on a graph, and it would take it would every Monday sales meeting, and we look at it, and I'd raise my hand like the jackass I am. So how do I get leads? Because the stupid computer will tell me the rate. I just need to know how I get the business.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
That's great.
But anyway, Ryan, it's been a privilege, man. It's awesome to get to know you more through this discussion. If anyone wants to reach out, agent, client, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah. So, phone, call me. I'm a big on the phone person. I love hearing voice inflections, and I think a lot gets lost in text and email. So, feel free, pick up the phone, shoot me a text. Email, whatever. I'm responsive, and that's the key, right? The key to all of this is that, again, people have questions, they want answers. So if you're not back to them right away, they're on to somebody else that is.
Throw out the number, man. I'll have Jason put it in the lower third.
Sure. 215-896-4225.
Jason, you got that? Little thumbs up action. I always do this to him. Really, look at that.
Yeah, I get it.
He's in the backstage. He's like, well, that's awesome. Ryan, an honor and a privilege, sir. Look forward to working with you more in the future.
Hey, man, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having me. And, we'll hopefully do this again.
Yes, sir. And I will have Ryan on repeat episodes. We'll get more into the nitty gritty of real estate. It's the intro episode is more about you. Then we'll do some catching up and checking in with you to see how you're doing through every so often.
All right, man. Well, I look forward to it. Thanks so much.
Facebook. I love you guys. I missed you. Thanks for watching the first episode of the Superstars Podcast. This episode will be on the superstarspodcast.com, as well as YouTube, Spotify, Google, and all those other blah, 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 blahs. So everyone have a good week. Keep grinding, and we will see you again on the next episode of the Superstars Podcast. Peace!